Welcome, C&G 132 to Wednesday, the midweek check-in. Already saw some discussion posts being made. Excellent way to get a good head start on the week. If you haven't posted your discussion yet, make sure to get that in there. Real important to give other students some time to reply back to you. A few students looked like they worked on case project 9.2, where they are evaluating places they worked for security, which is really good. Really good. You can also turn around and use that same case project to evaluate maybe your house. You know, how secure is your house? I remember growing up and having these huge windows that, of course, the computer was right next to. You know, maybe it wasn't like the most best way to have some security, but back then, I guess really security wasn't a huge thing in our mind. I don't even think there was a password on the computer either. Look at UEFI with 9.4, and then antivirus comparison from Matt. Good job with that. Antiviruses are always a good topic to talk about, because what I get asked a lot is what is the best antivirus? That, I think, is based on a person-by-person basis, and that, I kind of want to lead that into another topic. Is why I think it's a person-by-person basis is because I use Symatech, but it's not for my purposes. It's more for I can manage my sister's laptop, my dad's desktop, my mom's desktop and laptop. I can all manage them from a web interface and push out updates to their machines, so in case they forget or they don't know, I can stay on top of managing their devices or their antivirus on their machine. So that's why I choose that route. There were some really cool, interesting concepts out of this week that maybe I can get to. I thought that some of the best stuff was, now I'm forgetting what it is. Discussing the door locks. Yep, discussing the door locks. I know. Oops, I guess I can use one of these. I can use a business card, a credit card, something, and if I was able to, I could put it in between the door. It should go like this. The door and the lock, and then find a way to maneuver this mechanism here to basically open the door, because even though you lock the door handle, that just locks the handle itself and not the internal device from turning. You know, with a deadbolt much more secure. The deadbolt itself is the lock where there's wood around the deadbolt, but also if you do a quick internet search on this, you can see that people just kick down the door at homes and basically break the wood frame that the deadbolt is kind of drilled into. So maybe not the most securest all the time, but of course if it was metal, a lot more difficult to break or get through. The cipher lock, once again, a great way to look at it, but it's only, again, locking this mechanism, not necessarily over there, but just creating a key to get around. Man trap, I thought we discussed this earlier, but and this is a bad picture, one door is always closed. You'll never be in a situation where both doors will be open. Basically, you have to authenticate yourself, open the first door, let the first door close, authenticate yourself again, either at the door, or sometimes there's a window where you sign in, show the person your ID, and then once they verify who you are, you're allowed to proceed. The cable conduits, cool thing about cable conduits is they're not even, not all are high-tech as we see here, where the covers are slid on or snapped on. Out in front of out in front of the Anheuser Brewery older cable conduits consisted of concrete, where they're more like a chamber where the cables were laid, and then the concrete cap was placed on top. Very, very old style cable protection. Computer hardware, most all laptops, and I have mine today. Most all laptops come with a security feature. And if you look at your laptop, there's going to be a hole right there, and that's where the same locking mechanism as you see here. It's either a key or a code, but it's something that's entered to validate or to use as the key to release it. Can be on many devices, not just laptops. It can be on small printers, projectors, a lot of different material. And then I thought there was one last thing that I wanted to point out. Talking about secure coding, which we've kind of already talked about through the beginning of the semester. And maybe I missed it. It was more with the physical security. Application. So maybe I missed it. But physical security, one thing you can really look at is not just the locks. There we go, perimeter defenses. Here we go. It can be fencing, lighting. There used to be grease paint where you'd smear on this basically grease, and it wouldn't allow people to, or that's what its use was to deny people the ability to climb up, I don't know, maybe an egress of some sort to get rid of running water or something. The bullards, pretty cool stuff. You usually see this stuff in movies. Alarms go off. These pylons shoot up from the ground. Well, not shoot up. They raise up from the ground. There's also new ones that are like speed bumps. And once the do not allow goes over, the speed bumps kind of rotate and then become spikes. So pretty cool concept. And I believe that's it. Have a good week. Keep on posting those discussion forums. I'll keep reading them. But good job so far.